In this video, we're going to cover adding referrals and adding agent-specific referral agencies, which are used within the referral records themselves to just indicate where the referral came from. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure you have the appropriate permissions to add referrals and edit them and see them, etc. And same with the agent-specific data. To do this, we can go to Tools and then Manage Users. And then this will be a list of all the users in your agency. Go ahead and find yourself and then click Edit. I'm going to pretend that I'm Mary Demo. And then click User Permissions. And now I can see a list of all the permissions that I have access to. They're the ones that are checked with the blue check mark. So if you can't edit this yourself, which is often the case, you'll just have to ask whoever manages the user accounts at your agency to give you the appropriate permissions that you need. The two that you'll need for this video are the case referral one and the agent referral agencies. This one controls the ability to view, add, change, and delete the agent-specific referral agencies. That's found under Tools. We'll go over that last. And then the case referral one gives you the ability to either view, add, change, or delete referral records, which we're going to start out with first. So let's go back to the case file and go through adding a new referral record. So I'm going to use a quick link and go back to Jenny Weasley. Takes a minute to load. Our demo site's a little bit slow. Sorry about that. Okay. So now I'm going to click on my referral node right here, which I can see because I had the appropriate permissions. And really, agencies have been able to track referrals in Compass using this referral node for a while, waiver agencies that is. So some of you might be familiar with this already, and some of you may not. But for the nifty process, referrals are really going to be the first thing that you add into the system because it's kind of the initial step of transitioning a participant. So to add one, you highlight this record, click the Add button, and the system will automatically populate the referral date with today's date. But if you received the referral a few days ago and you're just now getting to enter it, you can easily backdate it by just typing in this field or using the calendar control. Say it was a few days ago. And then once you're ready, just click Add to add it, Cancel, or the X to close out of this and cancel adding anything. So I'm going to add. Once you've added the referral record, it's important to fill out as much of this information as you know. Because we do export this data to the state so that they have a nice full picture of what's going on. This is referrals are required to be reported. Right now, actually, each agency is sending monthly exports about the referrals that they receive to the state, and then CIM with this release plans to take over that responsibility and export the data you guys enter into the system and send it to the state on your behalf. So that's just going to save the agencies a little bit of time, and then hopefully just make that process just a little bit easier. So it's important though for us to be able to send the right data, we need you to enter these top two fields for sure, but especially the type. The type field is it's populated with basically a standard list of referral types that can be used across the state for all referrals, like their cell, hospitals, family, friends, tons of different stuff in here. But for the purposes of Nifty, and anytime you're transitioning someone, you're going to want to click this Transition Services option that was newly added as a request from the state. So that's the most important thing to do as a part of this adding a referral and being included in our export to the state. But then secondly, you're going to want to always fill in the agency name so that we know where the referral came from and can give that information to the state. So this agency field is also a drop down, it's populated with any agencies or organizations that your agency actually added. So it's called agent-specific referral agencies, actually, because it's specific to your agency and it's not shared throughout Compass. So each agency's list of agencies is different. For the demo, I added a couple fake agencies just so you can see what that looks like. And then I'll go over how to actually build this list and add and manipulate this later on in the video. Still, agents, don't be afraid if your list is empty. That's just probably because you weren't using the referral node before and now you are. And it's super easy to add stuff to this list. So we'll just cover that in a little bit. And the next thing is the referral contact details. So the name is going to be basically if you have a contact at the referral agency that you've been working with, if you know who that is, you might put that here. For instance, like Sally Sunshine. And then the phone number and area code, that would just be probably the contact that you're actually working with versus the referral agency's contact number. So if you know what that is, you could put that in here. You don't have to. And then this date field is the date of the referral, like the one that we used when we added the referral record. It's still editable, so you can change it if you messed up when you added it or you need to update it. And then lastly, there's the comments field. So the comments can be used to make any applicable comments about the referral, but what it's often used for actually is agency. So there's times when agencies will only work with a referral agency once or twice, and then they don't really want to go through the process of adding it to their agency dropdown. And so if that's the case, that's fine, but you'll just want to, record it somewhere who the referral agency was. And so we've seen in the existing data from waiver agencies, we've seen them use this comments field. So that's perfectly acceptable. You just would want to type something like, referral agency and then actually the name. So say it was like Care First or something like that. Then that would be a fine way of doing things as well. But if it's, something or an organization that you're working with on a regular basis and, you're going to use them pretty often, then you probably want to add them to this list. So let's go over how one would do that. So you can see I have a couple in here right now. Let's go ahead and try to add Care First to this list as well. So the way I would do that is I would go to Tools, and then agent-specific data, and then referral agencies. And just as a reminder, if you didn't have the permission to view or any higher than that, add, change, and delete referral agencies, you would not see this. So you'll want to make sure you have permission to get here at least. So click on this. And you can see the two that I have already added in the list. As this grows, it'll become a big scrolling list of referral agencies. So in order to add a new one, I can just click the add button here. And then a couple fields will come up that I need to fill in to add a new referral agency. So the first is code. Code is just a 10-character max field that can be used by each agency as an internal identifier. Its purpose is really just for reference only. So for instance, you could use it on paperwork instead of spelling out the full name if the name is really confusing or really long. Or maybe you have a few similarly named things. The code can help distinguish between Care First, Ionia and Care First and Saginaw, or whatever. It's kind of up to you how you want to use that. So another thing about code is it has to be unique within the same agency. So if I tried to use 1, 2, 3 or ABC, it'll give me an error and tell me that this is a duplicate and that code is already in use. So I'm going to pick a new code. A123, and then the name, this is whatever you want to show up in that agency dropdown, and it should be the name of the organization. So I'm going to pretend that it was Care First. I just wanted to point out too, as I've shown by doing it, letters and numbers are allowed in the code. So it's up to you, whatever coding methodology you want to use. So now I have my 2 required fields. I'm going to click add. And now I've added a new referral agency. So that's all it takes to actually show up in that drop down. But just wanted to quickly cover these fields that you can add. Phone, pretty standard. If you have the referral agency's phone, that's where this would go. The actual organization phone versus the contact phone that you put in the referral record. And address of the referral agency. You can put that in here if you know it. You don't have to. If you don't have a reason to use it, then that's fine, but that's an option. And then lastly, there's comments. And the comment field can be used to leave any relevant comments about the agency. But something that's commonly used is if the agency changed names. Sometimes that can be confusing and hard to remember. So you could comment like, oh, this used to be called Care First for Seniors, and now it's just Care First. So that's just an example of how to use the comments field. And then, and there's also the active checkbox. So the active checkbox controls what shows up on that referral agency dropdown, because, you know, an agency can go out of business. They could no longer basically work with you. There's lots of reasons to, you know, be done working with an organization or agency. And so in those scenarios where you've already used them and added them to different referral records, you just want to deactivate them by unclicking or unchecking this checkbox. That'll remove them from that drop down so that they don't show up for future use, but it'll keep them in any place that you had already selected that referral agency. So I'll keep it active because, you know, we just added it. Why not? But that's how that works. If you want to just delete it because you've never used it anywhere and you didn't mean to add this, then you would highlight the referral agency that you want to delete, click the delete button, and then confirm it. And I'll go ahead and do that, I guess. And now I've deleted it. So that is adding referral records and referral agencies.